Hi, Wanderers, we have videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. It's Wednesday, November 18th. We're doing our daily NBA rundown. A lot of games tonight. Mike Brenner, some big news, right?
Absolutely.
Houston has lost 4 in a row, straight up as a big favorite. I mean, there was something really wrong with that team. Their lowest line was last game where they were a 4.5-point favorite. They lost that one, lost all 4 straight up. Kevin McHale fired.
Turn out the lights, the party's over, Kevin.
No, or maybe the party for us is starting. At some point, Houston's going to become a good bet.
Have to be. And I thought that might happen a little later in the season. You know, he had a lot of vested interest in that team for a long time, so that kind of, was unexpected. But yeah, and actually Bernie Bickerstaff's son, J.B. Bickerstaff, has stepped in as the interim coach, and that's going to be interesting next couple days.
Yeah.
Different energy. Maybe the team wasn't, they didn't buy what he was selling. Maybe he didn't have that team in the locker room. So interesting, Pete.
So tonight, Houston's a 6.5-point home favorite against Portland. Again, a big favorite. I'm not going to take him tonight, but you like favorites, Mike Brenner.
I know.
To you.
And last night, I went 1 for 1. I hit the Golden State half. They barely covered the game. And you know what? With Cleveland, hell, they ain't going to cover on a half, and they won't cover on a whole game, so we'll get away from that. But no, I'm not touching that game.
Okay.
I am not touching it.
Another big favorite, maybe I'll be able to interest you in, maybe not necessarily tonight, but the Spurs have covered 7 out of their last 9, and we know that with that machine, when the Spurs start covering, a lot of times it's like it starts to get game in and game out, right?
Yeah.
And so, at some point it ends, middle of the season, towards the end of the season, but we might see, the Spurs might cover, 55, 60% of their next 40 games or something like that, right?
Absolutely, and as you said a couple episodes ago, you compared them almost to like the Golden State. You can just count on that, and how can you dispute that? But now I'm staying away tonight. I have just one pick. I'll get into that a little later, but that's interesting because they're just a covering machine.
Yeah, minus 13 against Denver, which is what you're going to get with the Spurs. A lot of times these spreads are a little bit hard to take, and sometimes they do lose them. But we've seen this in the past. They go on these ATS runs.
Yep.
They can have extended ATS value.
Yep.
So sometimes it's the Spurs. It's not necessarily a team where you want to pick your spots, but just kind of like auto bet them over the span of a few months until something different happens. Utah also has covered 7 out of their last 9 games. They're like Memphis, but a younger version. So I like that team to maintain their value.
We talked about them last week also with Hayward and Derek Favors. That's an up and coming team, and they're covering, and they're going to be more exciting as the season goes on.
I'll tell you, they could be a good bet tonight. -4 at home against Toronto. That's exactly the kind of game where I like to bet them because they're not giving too many points. Toronto's a quality team, but Houston's just a team that I'm going to be looking to bet on in the future. And -4 tonight against Toronto. That didn't appeal to you?
Were you talking about the Golden State? I mean, the Utah game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it does, and I'm going to tell you why it does. And since you brought it up, I might even put something out.
Okay.
No, it isn't. But you know what? I just thought about it. They're tired as hell, Toronto. They just went, literally, they went to the wire with Golden State.
Yeah.
All right, you're coming into fresh legs like a young, I might jump on that. What was that line?
-4. Not that bad, right? Look at that. Look at my selling power here.
Wow, no. You've done that to me before.
Yeah.
You've done that before. I like that. I like that, yeah.
I'm a favorites peddler here with Mike, getting him to take whatever I can get him to take.
Totals low, Shaq.
Yeah.
Low Shack Unleashed.
All right. Let's go to some of my totals. Once again, the one I really wanted was Phoenix over. I got it at the overnight's 200. Now it's 200.5 market wide, but 200 at 5 dimes. So I might give myself 200. I'm sorry, 202 at 5 dimes. And I think I will. Phoenix and Chicago over 202. I took the overnight at 200, but I'll take it at 202. Phoenix very guard oriented. They can put up the points in a hurry.
Have you heard any updates though on Rose? Is he playing, or is he that ankle going to be?
It's the same as ever with him.
It's like Durant now. He's the next one that's doing that.
It's not key, but and then I was thinking about. It's interesting. I was leaning under 209 in the Portland-Houston game. Now with the coaching change, it's jumped to 211 or 211.5. I'm not sure why that would be. It could be just Portland's results from season-wide. They've been a very over-trending team.
Yeah, that or maybe just Houston's going to have a night to just have fun again and play ball, and maybe the books see the value in that.
Yes, very good point. And I'm also definitely leaning under in New Orleans. OKC, I liked 213.5 on the overnight. Now it's down to 211.5.
When I saw that, I was wondering if you would jump on that, and I am going to put this out there. I love OKC on the first half because Westbrook's running. All right. He's out again, Anthony Davis. There's nobody else doing shit in New Orleans.
Right.
So I grabbed the half at -4, I believe is what it was. And matter of fact, I mean 6.
Right.
Yeah, and I grabbed it early today when I realized that Davis was definitely gone. Durant, he's just, I don't know what's up with him, but they're obviously going to have to figure it out again, like they did last year, how to get along without him. But first half, Oklahoma City Thunder -6. I love that play.
Okay, that's your one play for today?
That's my one play for today.
I'll stick to
you
one play.
almost had me on a second. So.
I'll stick to just one play as well. Chicago Phoenix over 202, although I'm definitely leaning Utah, and I actually did bet that one on the money line.
Okay.
I didn't, and I'm definitely leaning New Orleans OKC under. I bet that one on the overnight line, 213.5. I guess just one official play over 202 Chicago Phoenix. All right, Mike Brenner, talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, always good to see you, Pete.